This clip is brought to you by VegasWinners.com. Get expert sports betting advice from some of the best handicappers in the world. Head on over to VegasWinners.com and win yourself some money.
Chat me up about Grizzly Smith, somebody you and I have not spent a lot of time talking about.
Yeah, because Grizzly was Grizzly, and a lot of things have come out about Grizzly that a lot of rumor and innuendo, a lot of things, but when there's that much, it's
did you ever see anything?
Just sad.
Did you ever scratch your head about something and say, what's up with that?
Yeah, I did, but at the same time, there were always logical explanations for it.
Yeah.
And, or at least things that you will rationalize as logical in the moment, so as not to think the worst of someone. Grizzly did his job. Grizzly, he was a weird dude. And
did you learn anything from him? Did he have any, now, Brucey, when you're booking, you make sure you always or never forget that you had any sort of words of wisdom that you ever learned from him in a positive way?
I think that I learned patience from Grizzly, because Grizzly was so fucking slow. He moved slow. He talked slow. And I learned patience. I learned how to listen, think, and then open my mouth. So in that regard, that was one thing that Grizzly did well. Grizzly would listen to you, wouldn't answer you right away, and would give you a thoughtful answer. So I've tried to incorporate that to this day.
Was he known as, we've heard other people say, oh, he was the best finished guy in the business. What was Grizzly's MO?
No, Grizzly was just the guy that carried out the orders from the office from Bill.
And he was big enough and tenured enough that he had the respect of the boys.
Yeah, and he was the office. He was the guy. So he was the one that normally would be the one in charge at the events. And later on, Bill had a philosophy, which I also believe in, that Bill's bookers didn't work. When Ernie Ladd came in and booked, Ernie didn't work. Ernie just booked the territory. So when Bill Dundee came in and Bill had the book, I think that kind of flabbergasted Bill a little bit, but Bill didn't work. Every once in a while he would. He worked a little program with Adrian Street, but if they got in a pinch, Bill would work. But for the most part, Bill did not work. He was the booker. And I always thought that was smart on Bill's part, because it takes away that, the booker's just putting himself on top and taking care of himself and putting himself in all the big programs. But Dundee coming in, man, Dundee kind of turned everything on its head. I think that Dundee hot-shotted the territory. And when I say hot-shotted the territory, Bill threw everything under the sun at it. And maybe because he had to, because the territory was kind of on its ass. Brought in the Midnight Express and Cornette, brought in Terry Taylor, the Rock and Roll Express. Smaller, younger, more exciting guys. Still had your Duggins, still had your JYDs and Wrestling 2 stalwarts. But Bill did a lot more gimmick matches and gave a completely different feel to the territory. And I don't know that had Bill Dundee not come in at the time, that the Rock and Roll Express would be as big as they were.
Let's talk about Grizzly again, and then we'll move on. When was the first time you heard, whoa, wait a minute, that's not just a rumor? There really might be something going on there. Is that something that only happened in more recent years? Or what was the timeline on that when people started to say, wait a minute?
For me, it was after I left. But then it makes you go back and wonder about
what about this and what about that?
Yeah. But I didn't really realize it or understand it until after I was gone from there.
It's a weird. Hey, it's Conrad Thompson. Thanks for checking out the podcast here on YouTube. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell so you get a notice anytime we upload some new content. And go save yourself some money right now. If you're in a 30-year loan or you have credit card debt, it's not a matter of if I can save you money. It's a matter of how much. Find out right now for free at SaveWithConrad.com.